Derrick Henry is a great football player and is currently one of the top dogs in the NFL. At 6'3" and weighing over 230 pounds, this says a lot about his physical abilities and possibilities on the court. However, as with everybody, there are some things that aren't widely known about him. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at 10 secrets Derrick Henry doesn't want NFL fans to know about. Let's get into it. Number 10. He was raised by his grandma. This isn't a bad thing or a fact that he doesn't want you to know about. However, it's the backstory that we'll be discussing later that hurts him the most. Anyway, Derrick Henry was, for the most part, raised by his paternal grandmother, Gladys Henry. You see, Derrick's mom and dad were 15 and 16 respectively at the time he was born. They were in shock, as he, unfortunately, wasn't planned. But nevertheless, they decided to stick together. His grandma decided that, even though the circumstances were dark and sad, that she should make something bright out of the situation. So she gave her grandson the nickname Shaka, as he managed to shock the whole family. Even though Henry's mom was and still is a great person, she did neglect him a bit when he was a kid, which is to be expected for such a young parent. Still, his grandma managed to raise him well, and she essentially shaped him into what he is today. Gladys was the one who was most proud of him, and she was the backbone that he needed so dearly. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2016, but not before watching her Pride and Honor debut in the NFL. She died only 2 days after his debut, and that shows a true sense of love and care for her grandson, as she wanted to be with him at his utmost high and not be a burden. Derrick has honored her by getting a degree, a thing she always wanted for him, and every game he managed to win was dedicated to her. He truly loved her, and she loved him too. Number 9. Due for a payday. As a second-round pick, the Titans star running back wasn't going to get the kind of payday we're accustomed to seeing in the NFL these days. Playing the 2019 season on the final year of his rookie deal, Henry made $1.7 million. The full details of his contract that he signed in 2016 are 4 years, $5.7 million. He received a $2.1 million signing bonus and $2.8 million in guaranteed money. What perfect timing to be setting records and dominating the NFL? Ezekiel Elliott just received 6 years, $19 million, and Henry's contract will be up after the postseason. You can bet he'll be right up there with Zeke, Gurley, and Bell. Number 8. The number 1 running back in high school of all time. Probably one of the craziest statistics about the Tennessee Titans star running back is that he is the all-time leading rusher in the history of high school football. He rushed for 12,212 yards in his high school career, making him the top guy. That statistic seems pretty incredible, but when you really think about the millions of players who have played college football over the years, it's ridiculous. Number 7. Record-setting run. At the moment, Derrick Henry is on a record-setting run. According to Graham Barfield of NFL.com, Henry has set the all-time NFL record for most rushing yards in an 8-game stretch over his past 8 contests. For those of you keeping score at home, that's 203 carries, 1,273 yards, 6.27 yards per carry, and 11 touchdowns. Here's another fun fact. If you extrapolate that over 16 games, that would destroy Eric Dickerson's record of 2,105 yards in a season. Number 6. His Heisman Trophy. The 2015 Heisman Trophy race was loaded with the best talent the NFL has to offer today. Derrick Henry beat out the Houston Texans' Deshaun Watson and the Carolina Panthers' Christian McCaffrey. All 3 players are superstars in the NFL today. Both McCaffrey and Watson played another year in college and weren't finalists in the 2016 Heisman race. Number 5. The model of perseverance. As we can all figure, Henry is a true model of perseverance and has proved many doubters wrong. When he first came into the league, his then-coach Mike Mularkey labeled him uncommitted and even lazy when he didn't show for preseason workouts. What he didn't know was that Henry was at Alabama working out and finishing his degree, something he promised his grandmother. The star running back stuck with it, fought through timeshares with DeMarco Murray and Dion Lewis, and now has become one of the most feared running backs in the league. The Titans may not win a Super Bowl this year, but their success has been carried on to the shoulders of their monster running back. At 26 years old, he's become one of the best and most entertaining football players in the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have an electrifying offense, but number 2's ability to break tackles will do well to keep him off the field. Number 4. He would have gone to Georgia. Considered the number 1 high school athlete in 2013, Henry was originally set up to go to the University of Georgia. The Yulee, Florida-raised high school superstar then switched and made the move to the University of Alabama. Not a bad move considering he and the Crimson Tide won the national championship at the end of the 2015 season. Number 3. He's gonna be a father. Even if Henry and the Titans fall short of their Super Bowl goal in 2020, it's still going to be a great year for the star running back. He and longtime girlfriend will welcome a baby girl into the world shortly after the playoffs end. Rivas announced the good news the Friday before Henry destroyed the Ravens. Since then, he's been a great husband and an even better father, and is trying to be everything that he missed when he himself was a child. All in all, he had loads of mistakes others made during his life that he could learn from, and he most certainly did. One could say he's on a pretty good run. His grandma, bless her soul, would be proud of him. Number 2. Built like a mountain, moves like a flash. When you watch the Titans play, one can sit in awe as they watch this gigantic guy outrun dudes half his size on 50-plus yard gains. Everyone who watches the game knows he's big, but just how big is he? Number 2 clocks in at a whopping 6 feet and 3 inches and 247 pounds. That puts him in the freak of nature category because he runs at sub 4.5 40-yard dashes. To put this into a bit of more perspective, Henry led the league in rushing in 2019. The next 4 guys on the list don't crack 6 feet or weigh more than 225 pounds. He's big and he's fast. Number 1. His father is a convicted criminal. Well, I told you we were going to talk about his life story and his childhood. Today, 26-year-old Derrick Henry is one of NFL's brightest stars, with a dazzling future ahead of him. He is in a relationship with a lovely woman and is the father of an adorable baby girl. But his current happiness is a far cry from his own past. Born and raised in Yulee, Florida, a small town with under 30,000 people, Henry was just a baby when his father was arrested for the first time on drug charges. But it wouldn't be the last. Derrick Henry's father was not the greatest parent. In fact, far from it. He was arrested more than 20 times in the past 30 years. Drugs, alcohol, being a part of a prostitution ring, theft, you name it, he's done it. This of course means that he wasn't there when Derrick needed him the most. Throughout Henry's formative years, Henry Sr. was a distant presence, constantly in trouble with the law and ending up racking up 20 arrests on drug and prostitution-related charges. It was Gladys who was pushing Henry to excel and constantly ordering him to do his homework and keep his nose in his books. Later, when a football career became a possibility, Gladys reminded him that football doesn't last forever. After her death, as I've previously mentioned, he honored her by getting a degree, and thus showing once and for all that he is nothing like his father. And that's it. Life's not been easy for Derrick when he was a kid, but he didn't look at it pessimistically. No, his grandma taught him to look at life with joy, and she taught him that what goes around comes around, be it good or bad. He turned out to be a great football player, an even greater man, and an astounding father. What do you think about Derrick Henry? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell for further updates. Until next time.